In today's video, we're going to look at what content there is for Ascension players to do, what's worth your time and what's not. This video assumes that you're in the very wide umbrella of gamers who consider fun and optimal to be the same thing. There is no one true way to play Ascension, but at the end of the day, what matters most is what you have fun with. I'm simply making this video as a guide for those who wanted this information. I got a request for this video in a comment under one of my other videos. So today I'll be giving a general breakdown of each of the gameplay modes that can be found in Ascension, the reasons for playing these modes, and what generally these modes are considered best at in terms of rewarding the player for their time spent doing them. If you have any other questions in general about Ascension, feel free to comment under any of my videos, and if I find it worthy of making a video, I'll go ahead and make one to answer your questions. We'll start with prestiging, which is a system where you talk to Chromie in either capital city depending on your faction, Stormwind for the Alliance, and Orgrimmar for the Horde. You delete your scrolls of Ascension at Chromie, as well as many other things like Manastorm caches, and you reset your level back to 1, leveling up all over again with new abilities and talents. It was given a ton of buffs in Season 9, especially in Chapter 2. Where each prestige you do offers increasing rewards when you reach the maximum level of 60, and all prestiging quests were buffed in Chapter 2 to offer a nice 10,000 marks of Ascension, equivalent to about 2 to 4 daily quests from the Callboard in rewards. Couple this with the fact that you can hit maximum in under an hour with a potion and the right build, and some players are actually spamming Manastorm to collect marks, card packs, and prestige tokens. I think this is a viable way to play the game for these purposes, but I don't personally enjoy the playstyle as I have a full card collection, and I think the value of this falls off long term, but it's a great thing to do in the early life of your seasonal progression. In case you are brand new to World of Warcraft while watching this, professions are a game system where you pick up to 2 professions, for example, mining and blacksmithing. With mining, you can find ore in the open world and gather metal and stone from the nodes. You can use this metal and stone to produce weapons, armor, and tools with blacksmithing. This is called gathering and crafting professions, respectively, by the World of Warcraft community. Professions are a solid choice in terms of gold making, but they're going to have a small payoff in most cases. You can sell certain high-risk items for large amounts of gold, but generally, you'll be making a modest profit, turning items like copper ore into copper daggers for a daily quest. Players with extra gold to spend on dailies will often buy the items required for the profession dailies to save some money, as these items will usually sell for less than the gold required to complete the quest with the built-in skip feature. If professions are something that provide a lot of fun to you in World of Warcraft in general, then there's definitely some payoff to doing them. But if you hate professions, you don't lose out much steering clear of them in Season 9. Daily questing is a limited source of content. You pick them up at a callboard and complete the task given to you, and are rewarded with marks of Ascension, Mystic enchantment materials, and callboard caches. Callboard caches are an excellent source of gearing for your account early on into your career in the season, but at the time of recording, they cap out at about item level 69 for the most part. You'll also occasionally get bonus caches from your callboard caches, which grant you scrolls of fortune and card packs. You are limited to 1 set of quests a day, but Ascension allows these quests to stack up to 7 times, meaning you can do all of them in one go, once a week, or miss a few days here and there without fear of missing out if you did a bunch at once a couple of days ago. I recommend daily questing for players who are early on in their Ascension journey, if they don't prefer this prestige spamming method, and especially to anyone planning on staying level capped. The reward to time investment ratio diminishes greatly when the gear you obtain from them starts being useless to you, as there's generally better ways to farm marks as well. Dungeons are 5-man content where you and 4 other players, usually in the format of tank, healer, and 3 DPS, form together to tackle an instance dungeon, housing multiple bosses with often engaging mechanics to defeat for great loot. Mythic Plus is an evolution of this system, where the dungeon's difficulty scales infinitely, offering equally infinitely scaling rewards, up to a cap, set by the developers. This mode is a fantastic source of gearing and offers a lot of the best in slot pieces for different builds. It's also become a fairly decent source of cases of fortune, but there are still better avenues for scroll farming if that is your only goal. I really enjoy Mythic Plus, and I recommend it as a viable and easy to access form of endgame content, since throwing together 5 players is relatively easy. Do recommend this one. Raiding is an endgame system where players of 10 to 25 gather together in massive parties to tackle some of the most menacing foes in World of Warcraft history, offering a raiding experience that has been the gold standard of MMO history for the last 2 decades. Unfortunately, with such a large amount of organization required, and the effort it takes to get a solid group of raiding players together, the raiding scene in Season 9 of Ascension is actually relatively dead. That's not to say that players don't raid, it's just that it feels more of like a big club. But you have to be in a raiding guild in order to ever see this content in the meaningful capacity. It's a big club, and it feels like for the most people, you're not in it. You can maybe find the occasional public group, usually referred to as a pug, running relatively meaningless content since raids actually do not reward players nearly as much as Mythic Plus or Manastorm, which we'll cover in the next section. I think raids should probably have their loot reevaluated to incentivize the community at large to engage in them more often, as I believe historically they are the gold standard of World of Warcraft content, especially in the endgame. And currently, it feels like a waste of time to do them, as you may go through a whole multi-hour raid that you structure your actual real-life schedule around, just to end up with no loot at the end of the night, which can feel really bad. If raiding is something you love, or something that you're interested in, I recommend pursuing it, but if it's something that you feel like you only did because it was a checkmark in your list of weekly tasks, it's an easy skip in Season 9. Manastorm is an infinitely scaling dungeon hopping mode where you clear mobs on your way to your assassination target marked by a skull. Defeating this boss sends you to the next level. This is a fantastic mode that allows up to 1 to 10 players. If you're intent on playing as a solo character, your build should revolve around durability and a touch of damage, or else you'll have a really bad time. This is an excellent source of gear for every step of your Ascension journey, and it provides the best source of scrolls for rerolling your builds, and a good amount of marks, with exclusive cosmetics to boot. For more information on Manastorms, check out my channel for the 2 Manastorm guide videos I have that will tell you everything you need to know. For the rest of this video, I'll provide miscellaneous information that was requested in the comment, but not complicated enough to warrant its own video. Mystic enchants are a player progression system that allow you to collect sort of pseudo-talents for your character, that buff your character and stay with you as long as you don't change them, regardless of what level you are. Meaning you can prestige and keep access to the enchants that you have. These have small but impactful benefits, like increasing the total damage done of a chosen type, for example, 1% more holy damage, or increasing your chance to hit with all spells and abilities like with precision, by 2%, or very specific things that your build is focused around, like for one with the light build, for example, it's very common to take Hasty Divine Storm 3 times to reduce its cooldown by 1.5 seconds. Mystic enchants used to be a much larger system with much more nuance, but a lot of the more powerful enchants were actually broken up and made into either abilities or talents that you can roll, meaning the system really only supports uncommon and rare talents as of recording. I hope that in the future they release new epic and legendary enchants that function a lot different than what the old systems were, but are still impactful to a character's build. It's worth collecting them, but it won't be something that you change very often. For ability and talent rolling mechanics, Chapter 2 improves the feature that already existed called synergy rolls, making a lot more common to occur. The way that this works is that, say you have an ability, let's say Divine Storm. When the synergy roll happens, that ability can be chosen by the system, and you can be given a talent that directly synergizes with that ability. For example, Powerful Divine Storm, which increases its damage by 20%. When a synergy roll happens, it takes a talent or ability that you currently possess at random, and then rolls synergies for that. This means that early on in build making, When they do proc, it can have a habit of not giving you exactly what you were looking for, but once you start forming a build, the synergy tends to just keep rolling on through, as the abilities that you're keeping are having synergy rolls triggered on them constantly. It's sort of a snowball effect. There's still a lot of experimentation going on in the wider community on what the best way to roll your abilities for a build is, but currently the absolute best method that we know of is carding very few abilities and talents. Just enough to get your spec playable. Maybe 1 or 2 abilities and 1 or 2 talents at most while you're leveling. Keep the rest of your talent and ability card slots open because they can be filled in at any time, and then roll your build as normal. You'll find this allows you to create a 90% completed build, and then fill in the remaining 10% with the card and talent slots that you have left over, guaranteeing that you get those abilities when you want them. The rest of the rolling is entirely luck-based, and there's not many mechanics to keep in mind other than synergy. That wraps up just about everything that the comments asked about, and so that brings us to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it and found this information helpful, remember to leave a like and comment, as each one of these help my channel far more than you think. For this video's giveaway, I'm giving out 1 aura of experience to a lucky winner who comments down on the video. The winner of last video's giveaway was actually Golem, and I'll be sending over the Cogsley as promised. Make sure to keep your mailboxes cleared so I can send these giveaway winners their prizes. If any new players who find this video have any remaining questions, I'm more than happy to answer them in the form of comments or in a video format if the question is complicated enough. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a great day. Hello, so Editor Matronic here, and I'm just going to post the proof of the little giveaway that we did from the last video here. So the winner, as I said in the video, was Golem. So I'm going to go ahead and double check and make sure that I get the name perfect before I go ahead and send this. And I'm going to type up a little message here as always. All right, so I did triple check the name, and I went ahead and typed this nice little message out here for Gollum. I do realize it's Gollum from Lord of the Rings and whatnot, but let's go ahead and send this Cogsley to him. All right, perfect. So there's your proof, guys. See you in the next videos. Peace.